Welcome. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm Patty Miller, and summer vacation is here for most of us, and we've had wonderful things planned. And one that's coming up, which is just a favorite of many of us, all of us, myself included, and that's the Walk to End Alzheimer on September 29th. And today we are very lucky to have with us Michaela Ray. And she's going to tell you her role with Alzheimer's because it's so encompassing. I want to be sure I don't do it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So I'm the walk manager for Northern Minnesota for the Alzheimer's Association. So I cover the walks in the Twin Ports area, the Brainerd Lakes area, and of course here in the Range area. And work with all of the volunteers and all of the incredible people in the community that make the walks happen for their community.
Wonderful. And now for people that don't know about the walk, I'm not even sure how long we've had it on the Range.
It's over 10 years here. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have a very exciting goal this year. We have a goal of $96,000, and into really, truly in that 10 years to have gone from nothing to a goal of almost $100,000. That's truly attainable. You guys have done incredible things in this area. Super exciting.
It really is exciting. And you know, I love it. I think I've done all 10 years of walking with it because it's not a high pressure walk. I mean, I think part of Alzheimer's is you want people to be active, and if they can walk a block or 4 miles, it doesn't make any difference, right?
It's just about being there and being part of the community, raising funds, seeing that you're not alone while you're walking that journey.
Now, Alzheimer's, you know, I'm aging. People that have watched this show for a while, known me for a while, and I just didn't think I'd start forgetting things ever. And I used to never have to write down anything on a list. Can you explain the difference between forgetting things and aging and Alzheimer's and dementia?
Yeah, so dementia is kind of an overarching term for memory loss or cognitive loss of cognitive ability that impacts your everyday life. So when we're seeing significant impact on the everyday life, that's when we're talking about something like Alzheimer's or dementia. And Alzheimer's is just a form of dementia.
Okay, everyday life, like
driving, finding things around the house. You know, Alzheimer's and dementia can have different effects on people's, right? They're remembering things, their everyday tasks, their relationships, different behaviors start coming out, and sometimes you notice that kind of thing. And when it starts to get to be something that causes concern and it is having an impact in the quality of your everyday life, you want to talk to your doctor right away.
Okay, so things like, you said driving, maybe forgetting where a place is.
Yes, yeah.
And not.
Yeah, something where not, you know, something like, oh, I forgot the eggs or something like that, you know, but something that's really truly impacting your ability to go about your everyday life in a way that you haven't experienced before.
And it's real difficult to, I just know when family members, you know, it's dangerous for them to drive, to even approach the subject that maybe it's time that you hand in your keys or we do something. I mean, it really is difficult to be a caregiver.
It is,
of someone who is starting to forget and have Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah, and that's part of where we come in also, is we always have no-cost community education that we can do at your place of business, at schools, at civic clubs, that kind of thing. We also have our 24/7 helpline at 800-272-3900.
Okay, we'll get that on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah,
okay.
perfect. Yeah. And then we also have a ton of no-cost classes that you can tune into online, or those in-person ones as well that help families navigate that kind of thing. And then, of course, we always have local and online support groups for family members and caregivers, and also people living with dementia themselves.
You know, Cancer Society has been around forever. Alzheimer's Society, are you relatively new as far as doing the fundraising and the community awareness compared to some of these others that we've heard about, heart and cancer I think since I was a little girl.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've been around for quite some time, but I think that we're really entering a really exciting period of time with this new era of treatment, right? We're really starting to see things that we haven't seen before, right? And we've watched this happen with the American Heart Society and heart disease and the Cancer Society, right? And we're making advances. We have treatment options. And the really exciting thing is we are finally entering this era of treatment with Alzheimer's, where with early detection, we're seeing things like donanemab and Leqembi being early options that people can start taking so that they can delay the onset and get more of their life back and spend more time with their loved ones.
You know, not very long ago, there weren't any drugs to treat Alzheimer's. And so just is this within the last couple of years?
Truly the last couple of years, yeah, the last 5 years or so, yeah.
And so when people go out and ask for support and ask for money to do the walk, and I know nobody's turned away. If you don't make any money, go and learn about Alzheimer's and have a great day with the community. But is that something that Alzheimer's has helped support research?
Absolutely. Last year was actually an incredible milestone. We were able to contribute $100 million to research,
Wow.
which is how we are starting to see these kind of advancements, right? So the Alzheimer's Association is the leading organization pushing into some of this stuff. And so every community, just like this one, that raises $96,000, that goes towards making sure the community has that support right now, right? Those support groups, the community education in the classes and the helpline, always available. And so that we get this research done that we can bring back so future generations aren't living the same reality.
Wow. You know, that's really success pretty fast. I mean, I think there are so many things yet to be discovered in that field, you know, and I think with cancer, they've come a long ways too, but it's still out there. And Alzheimer's, it's always going to be out there, but what hope that you...
Right. And we hope that at some point it's not, right? And that's the hope with all of this, that we all work together to the point that, you know, things get better and better and better, and for less people, this is a reality.
You know, let's talk a little bit about the event. It's September 29th. It's phenomenal. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what happens?
Sure, yeah. So the event will be at the Minnesota Discovery Center on September 29th, which is a Sunday.
Oh, what a beautiful venue for it.
And it's going to be beautiful, right? It's September, it's the end of September in northern Minnesota. I'm excited to be outside walking around. And so registration will start at noon. And we'll have an opening ceremony at 1 o'clock. We'll talk about some of the things some of the advancements that are happening. We'll congratulate some of our fundraisers. We'll celebrate some of the community members that are involved. We'll highlight people in our community that are living this reality. And then we'll all walk together. We'll walk along the route and celebrate that and then come back and that's the walk. And there's no cost ever to register. You can just register if you go to alz.org/walk. You can find the walk there and get started there. We would love to have you come walk with us, start a team, get your family and friends or your coworkers to a company team. Or also just come volunteer with us on the day of. We always need help with setup and takedown, and we make it really fun. We provide food, you know, that kind of thing.
And music, and it's just wonderful. And wow, sometimes you even have dancers.
Yes, and I think that's something, we're actually having an event planning night with our local committee tonight. We're going to solidify all of that and make it an incredible event again this year.
You know, one thing I really like, and I don't know if it's been every year that I've done it, but it's been the last few years, is that everybody who walks gets a flower, and the flower represents why you walk. And can you tell us a little bit about those flowers? Because people forget the reasons why we're raising money for this disease.
Yeah, so we always have our Promise Garden. And when you come to the walk, you get your Promise Garden flower. And there are flowers for those living with Alzheimer's and dementia, if you're someone that's a caregiver, if you're someone that just supports the cause and wants to see a world without Alzheimer's. And we always have someone walk with a white flower. And that is the hope of the first person that is cured of Alzheimer's disease. And so that's what all the flowers represent, and we walk and we plant them. And it's this garden that represents hope.
It's just a beautiful touching way to
Highlight that,
recognize
yeah.
how all-encompassing it is. Like caregivers alone. Talk a little bit about the caregivers. I know
Sure.
money stays locally to help support caregivers and
We have
groups that-
specific support groups for caregivers. We have a couple right here in Hibbing, as well as some surrounding areas. And you can always go to the Minnesota North Dakota chapter page online, and you can see all of the support groups in your area there, and which ones are online as well. But when it comes to caregivers, yeah, it can be a huge thing for people to navigate, whether that's financial, whether it's just the emotional and physical health effects that caregiving has on the people that are doing that caregiving. We know in Minnesota alone, there's over 100,000 people right now living with Alzheimer's. And those people are cared for by 164,000 caregivers. That's a lot of people. We all know someone that knows someone that's dealt with this, right? And in the U.S., it's 7 million people living with Alzheimer's and dementia, and 11 million people caregiving. So even just here, though, right, in our state, and we see this, the prevalence is quite high, and so it's not just. And it's not just care for caregivers, right? We're trying to care for the people living with Alzheimer's and dementia so that they have quality of life. And that's part of where we show up, is if we can support the people around them as well, we create this space, right? Where people have less fear. They're able to care better because they don't have that, there's less uncertainty. And they have support there.
It's just such a family disease. I mean, I just, it's such a difficult one. You think there's always so much hope with any disease that something's going to come along and everything, but this one, it's just to watch your loved one kind of deteriorate in front of your eyes, and the caregivers oftentimes burn out and have such a difficult time.
Yeah,
and oftentimes you see them almost sometimes dying before the person they're taking care of. I mean,
Yeah,
so
it can be a complicated, and everybody's situation is different.
so it's so great that you have resources available to address, and if you happen to be a caretaker, don't be hesitant to
Yeah.
pick up the phone and call.
Yeah, and I'll mention the helpline again. That's available 24/7. So 2 a.m. Christmas Eve morning, you go home and someone's not doing as well as you thought they were, or you or your family member just got a new diagnosis and you don't know what the next steps are, or you've been a caregiver for 10 years and you just don't know what to do next, or you're someone living with Alzheimer's and dementia and you want to live a quality life and you don't know what your options look like and what next steps look like. You can always call the helpline any time of day or night, and again, that's 800-272-3900. And it's 24/7, and there's someone there all the time ready to pick up the phone, and it's anonymous if you want it to be. And then from there too, you can be connected to a care consultant who can help you make a care plan with next steps.
And you said anonymous, and I like that, because I think it's one of those diseases like breast cancer was years ago too, that people don't want to talk about. They
Right.
take it personally, but we're all living longer, and I mean, I know you've come a ways as far as maybe finding some things for people to, not what is the cause of Alzheimer's, but to
lessen your risk.
lessen
right?
your risk.
Sure.
Yeah, could you mention a few of the things that would
Yeah.
lessen a person's risk?
Yeah, sure. So we see some evidence that doing things that engage your brain, like, keeping active with your brain, maybe that's learning languages, or it's playing games, or it's, and it's staying social too. That's a big part of that as well. Activity, getting out, exercising, walking, doing that kind of thing, and eating wholesome, healthy food. Those are all things that take care of our brain.
And things I think we hear about it in all diseases, exercise, but socialization is really a part of it too. And you think of how many people, as they get older, do live alone,
Right,
and they don't have
As
contact
much
with-
access, yeah.
And so as far as that's really an important, that's why I love the walk, because everybody's welcome, and it incorporates all those things.
Right.
Walking, healthy, being with fun people,
Yeah.
and a great day, and
Connects you to your community. And everyone's there for the same cause. People have their own experiences and their own understanding of what that means, right? And people get it, what it looks like to live with that, right? So, yeah.
And it's such a great community event too. It's grown so much.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I just really applaud the people that are involved in working on it.
Truly, this community has done something really incredible with this walk. Yeah.
And so it's the 29th.
It's the 29th. It is a Sunday, so we've been telling the churches too, and inviting the churches and inviting everybody. If you do go to church on Sunday mornings, bring your walk-in clothes. Just go eat right after church and come join us right away, right after the morning services.
That's wonderful. And I've heard some churches are even starting up teams.
Yeah, that'll be very exciting. Yeah.
Teams are really a fun way to do it, but if you don't have a team,
yeah, you can walk as an individual, and you can always, it's great if you can sign up online ahead of time, but if you can't, we will have paper forms there on the day of, so don't feel like you can't come. Yeah.
Great. So it's Sunday, September 29th, and of all the years I've walked, I think there's only been rain one time. So
Knock on wood, Patty. Yes.
Yeah, one time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was,
We get lucky in September a lot, so that beautiful weather. So.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And we are rain or shine, I will mention that. So obviously if we had really, like thunderstorms or something, we'll figure out a plan there, but we are rain or shine. So.
Okay, it's kind of like Grandma's Marathon.
Yeah,
You just
the show must go on.
The show must go on.
I heard someone say once, people with Alzheimer's don't get a choice, and so here we are going to just continue walking no matter what. So.
Isn't that the truth? One part of your program that is also so touching is that of the people that carry flowers, you usually have somebody, a caretaker speak, a person with Alzheimer's speak, and well, I guess those are.
Well, it depends on the year. It depends on the
year
year and who we've connected with in the community. And I can't say this year yet because we're still kind of working on the program this year. But I'm sure that we'll have community members that are willing and able to share their story and connect. Yeah.
Because the individual stories are what just touch your heart so much, because I don't think there's anybody that doesn't know somebody who has had memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's.
Right, and we were just talking before this, right? You've personally had friends, and I've had family. Even if you haven't been someone that's been directly caretaking for someone, you've watched it, right?
Yes.
And we know how impactful it is, and we know how hard it was for the person that was going through it, and also for the people around them. And that's why we do this. That's why we raise the money. It's why we raise the awareness. And I always tell all my volunteers this too, right? Like, of course we're here to raise funds so we can provide all of these resources and keep moving forward. But at the same time, the only way the community understands why we're doing this is because if we are talking about the resources that are available and we're raising awareness and we're educating each other on how we can do better for ourselves as caretakers or, the people that are living with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Shocking statistics that you have thrown out there, but the number keeps going up and up as we live longer and longer.
Right, yeah.
And one thing in looking over your statistics, women have a higher chance of.
Yes.
Is there any reason? No.
We don't know it for sure right now. That's not something I can say definitively, but yes, we do know that women have an exponentially higher risk than men. It's almost double. And so, and we also know that generally speaking, women are more impacted as caregivers as well. So we do often see women carrying the brunt of this disease.
Yeah. And so we just applaud your group and the efforts that are being made. And boy, we want to raise that 96,000 plus here, hit it up to 100,000.
I think it would be really cool if we hit 100,000. I think that would be incredible, and we're well on our way. I know I looked, and we're over 20,000 already, and we're just really getting into the swing of things. I'll mention again, if you go to that alz.org/walk, that's where you can look. You can see you'll look for the range walk, and you'll see all of the details, and you can sign up your team and invite. The more people you invite, the more people learn about what the resources that are available, the more funds we raise, and the more this community benefits from what we're doing here. So we appreciate any help we get. We appreciate all of you that are already helping. It's a really incredible event to be a part of.
It really is. It's one that I just think I'll do forever. Yeah, it's just.
And yeah, we're really grateful for Patty too.
Oh.
Yes, no, truly. Look at, and Patty's got, is this your championship medal?
Oh, I have a medal. Yes.
So Patty is part of the Champions Club, which maybe I'll talk about that a little bit. So our champions.
Just have a couple seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Our champions raise over $500, and they raise almost 80% of all of our funds. It's incredible.
Oh, well, I have
Thank you, Patty.
generous friends and lots of friends. And I think that's the thing, too. Don't be afraid to ask. The worst is they say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't.
Right.
But, $1, $5, and you never know
Right.
what somebody might just reach in their pocket and hand
Right.
out. So, yeah.
The cumulative impact each of us have in our own sphere of influence can't be underestimated.
Yes, exactly. Well, the time has gone so fast. We'll have to have you again to talk about Alzheimer's.
you.
But
Thank you.
are there any last words you want to really stress before we?
I think we just want to make sure the community knows what support is here, and we would love to have you join us at the walk on September 29th at the Minnesota Discovery Center.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Patty.
And thank you all for tuning in. And both of us, and probably Ron too, look forward to seeing you at the walk on September 29th. Noon registration at Minnesota Discovery Center. And thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
For over 25 years, U.S. Bank, located at 211 East Howard Street in Hibbing, Minnesota, has provided office and studio space for Hibbing Public Access Television. We are thankful for their ongoing support.